that they did, are we since that's what 60? You gonna count like 60 plus years? Are we in better conditions now? My brother said, hell no. We not in better conditions. Why is that? Why is the black man, the Hispanic man still at the bottom of society in 2025?
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
How you doing, bro? Come closer. Come closer. Let me ask you this question. Are you familiar with this history? You see, this is Africa. You see these arrows is pointing. It's basically slave routes. You familiar with that history? What happened in that history? They took who from Africa to the U.S. by boat? The white man to who? The Africans from Africa to the North America. Did you know that was documented in the Bible? Are we them people that they brought over here? Let me show you that it's documented in the Bible. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 15. Believe in the Bible? You don't believe in the Bible? You ever read the Bible? You grew up going to church holiday. 18, what's your name? Giovanni, I'm Semachiah. So let's read that real quick, Deuteronomy. I want you to listen very closely. And we're gonna do some process of elimination and see who this Bible is talking about. Do you know who book this is? Whose Bible is this? Do you know who does this Bible belong to? What people on this earth does this Bible belong to? Huh? Yeah, what people? Okay. What nation on this earth does this Bible belong to?
Bring it out.
Africans. So you close, you hitting at it. So let's read that real quick, Deuteronomy 28.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
So notice it says, but it shall come to pass. If I tell you something's going to happen tomorrow, what am I doing? Predicting the future or prophesying. So this is a prophecy that we read. Because the Bible is a book of prophecy. Read.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So now it says, if thou. So, but it shall come to pass if thou. If thou. Who is the thou that he's talking about? Do you know? Let's get that real quick. Let's go back one chapter, 27 and 1.
Bring it out.
Deuteronomy chapter 27 and verse 1. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day.
You one and one. So it says Moses. Have you ever heard of Moses? What is Moses known for? He took. Say it again. No, that's Noah. Moses is the movie Prince of Egypt. You ever heard of that? So Moses is the one that delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt. I think you're mixing it up. He split the Red Sea and they walked through the sea. That sound familiar? So that's who Moses is. Read. Let's see who he was reading, who he was speaking to when he wrote this. Read.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses speak unto all Israel.
So Moses wrote the book of Deuteronomy to all Israel. So that back to 28:15. So he's telling Israel something's going to happen in the future if you break God's commandments. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So he's telling them something's going to happen if you don't listen. Hearken means to listen attentively. Meaning you listening so that you can understand, so that you can apply. Read.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So in plain words, Moses is telling them, it's going to happen in the future. If you break God's rules, bad things are going to happen to you. Because what is a curse? When you hear the word curse, what is that? What is that? Misfortune or something bad, right? So he said, Moses says these bad things are going to happen. Remember, I said this right here that we see documented on here, this slave routes of Africans going to being scattered through South America, through North America. It's documented in the Bible. It's 68.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So now he's telling them, the Lord gonna bring you into Egypt again. Why would he say again? How you doing, sis? So why would he say, the Lord shall bring you into Egypt again? First off, do you know what Egypt is? Egypt is in Africa, right? Egypt is a land, is it on the sun? We'll show it. Egypt is here in Africa. So the Lord said, read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So just to bring it up to speed, the children of Israel was in bondage in the land of Egypt.
Right.
And the Most High delivered them out of there by the hand of Moses. So now Moses is saying, the Lord shall bring you into Egypt or into bondage again, read,
with ships.
with ships. How did we get over here? With slave ships, right? So this Bible, how long has this Bible been around? Has it been around longer than me and you? Has it been around, let's say, thousands of years? So this was something that was written way before this happened to us. So if that's written in this Bible, that this is a book of prophecy, who is this talking about? Who is Moses talking? Who's he talking about right now? No, he's talking about us.
Bring it
I'm
out!
gonna read it again. Read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So he said, the Lord gonna bring you into Egypt or bondage again, read,
With ships.
with ships. Those ships that we now can look in history and see is transatlantic cargo slave ships.
Right.
Right here. You see this? Can you see the images? What's on the bottom of this ship? Because this is the bottom of a cargo ship. What's on the bottom of this ship? Slaves. All throughout the bottom of this cargo slave ship. This happened to us, right? This is our history. So what we reading, what we showing you is that this right here that's in our history was documented in the Bible thousands of years before it happened.
Right.
So that lets us know that this Bible is our book.
That's right.
It's our history book, but we ain't been told that coming up. We've been told that we were Gentiles. We told that we any other nation outside of the nation that's in this Bible.
Bring it out!
Read.
Wherefore I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Meaning when we left out of the land of Egypt, the Most High told us we would never see that land again. We would never see Egypt again. So now we get sent back into to bondage. Read.
And there he shall be sold unto your enemies.
What happened when we got off those slave ships? We got colonized. Those that got colonized was those that was already here. Because the native Indians was here already, right? They got colonized. We got transported from Africa and brought over here. So now read that part again.
And you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
So what happened to us when we got off those ships? What did they do to us? When them ships docked and they unloaded us off the ships, what did they do to us? They started selling us.
Bring it out!
That's what we're reading right here in the Bible. And it's been in this Bible all our life, but nobody never told us this. The Christian church never told us these things.
Right.
The Christian church is busy telling us that sow your seed for a need.
Bring it out!
They're busy telling us to give tithes and offerings, but they're not telling us that this Bible is our history book.
That's right!
Read on.
And no man shall buy you.
So when we got off those slave ships, we were sold as slave men and slave women, and it says, no man shall buy you. What are some of the great men that rose up amongst our people that tried to get us out of the conditions that we in? How you doing, sis? Since you got a moment, you believe in the Bible? How you doing, my brother? You believe in the Bible? You got about 5 minutes? Okay. So what I just asked you? Yeah, what are some of the great black men that rose up and tried to change, to get us out of our conditions? Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, the old brother said, walking across the street, said, Marcus Garvey, you ever heard of him? Who was some other names? Because Marcus Garvey was in like the, 1920s? Early 1920s, 1910. 1910, yeah. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X is in the 60s. Who else? W.E.B. Du Bois.
Bring it out.
Let me ask you this. Out of everything that they did, are we, since, that's 60, you gonna count like 60 plus years. Are we in better conditions now? My brother said, hell no. We not in better conditions. Why is that? Why is the black man, the Hispanic man still at the bottom of society in 2025? All the things that we've done, we've marched, we've protested, we go into churches, a church everywhere, everywhere you can look, it's a church in the hood, right? How you doing, sis? Everywhere you go, it's a church in the hood, right? How are these churches benefiting our communities? They're not. That's the thing, they're not. These churches are not benefiting. Hey, somebody get them a flyer. These churches are not benefiting because our communities just get worse and worse. After all these men that rose up and tried to get us right, nothing has changed.
What is a nation?
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
His word